Super excited about 2025. New beginnings from old results. As a consequence of everything that transpired in 2024 leads us to exciting things that will happen in 2025. What will happen in 2025, you may ask? I will share 5, and I mean 5 exciting reasons why 2025 will amount to a great success. And one involves this monster right here behind me, right after this. You have to love reefing. Welcome back, everyone, to Vargas Reef. I'm your host, Tony Vargas, and as I mentioned in the very beginning, we are going to share 5 reasons why 2025 is going to be a spectacular year. However, I'm going to give you a bonus, and there'll be 6 reasons why 2025 is going to be monumental. But before we get started, how did 2024 affect you, and how will it impact 2025 for you? Will it make a difference? Please leave the comment below as to why you think 2025 is going to be spectacular. As for me, for reefing, well, we're going to have 6 reasons why 2025 is going to be monumental. And let's start with reason number 1. Reason number 1 has a lot to do with 2024 and how it started. We started 2024 with the grand opening of Blue Marine. Now, Blue Marine was a monumental project that went on for about a year and a half. And what we did was we created the most incredible marine shop in all of Qatar. Now, this shop was different than all the others. And why was it different? Because it was the only marine shop in all of Qatar. And what we did was very different from all the other shops in Qatar. We brought in products that were never seen in Qatar. That's number 1. Number 2, we modernized everything. So for example, I would go on a consult and I would recommend to people what they needed to either improve the tank or replace it with something new. And one of the number 1 reason why things were always failing was because the technology that was used in Qatar was way different than the technology we use today in 2020. And here's one of the reasons. Let's take, for example, a bulkhead. Now, as you know, bulkheads are very common, very easy to obtain, but guess what they were doing in Qatar? They were putting silicone or epoxy in the holes to attach an adapter to it in order to make the plumbing work. Now, that was just sickening. And here's an example of one of those bulkheads that were used on a teardown that we did. Another reason was metal stands. Now, can metal stands be utilized? Yes. But do they deteriorate in time? Absolutely. Not that the tank will come crashing down, but they start to rust. So if you're using steel or you're using iron, that stand is going to rust, and you're not going to prevent it. No matter how much zinc oxide you put on it, it's going to rust. And one of the big reasons why we found a lot of failures with a lot of tanks in Qatar was the rust was peeling off the metal. And when it was peeling, it was also peeling with paint. And if you use a paint that's oil-based and it starts to peel, the peel winds up in the water, and so does the rust. And eventually the water becomes toxic. What do you do then? You complain. You say the fish aren't living, the water looks horrible. So when I came in for a consult, I would notice all these things. Bad stands, improper setups, using old equipment. Imagine using Eheim's 1260 as a return pump for a tank, especially a large tank. Come on. In today's world, that's not necessary. So we came in and we started doing things differently. What we did was import all these amazing products into the country. We brought in extruded aluminum. So we started building our own stands. So they were never going to have a problem with their stands rusting or peeling because now the stands were made of aluminum. So we brought in all this technology. However, back to 2024 in the beginning of the year. So what we did was we opened up Blue Marine in 2024, grand opening right at the beginning of the year, and it was a success. I had friends from all over the world come visit me in Qatar, and they were delighted. They saw that we made a difference. They saw the shop. They fell in love with it, and I think that it was a great success. But what did I learn from that? See, that's the most important part. I learned that what I liked doing was projects. I would go on a consult, and I was loving it. I would sit down with the customer, go over their needs, explain to them how to repair or fix the issues. And then I started realizing that, man, we were getting customers coming in asking for brand new builds on new construction. So these people were building these beautiful homes, and they wanted a gorgeous aquarium in their home. And that is why reason number one was interesting for me. Where my passion started to ignite was in projects. Reason number two was my visit to Interzoo. And that's where I met up with a whole bunch of friends that I haven't seen in a very long time. I met up with them, we had a great time. I did a book signing at the Two Little Fishies booth, and it gave me an opportunity to go visit some of the vendors that were distributing their products over there. And trust me, there were a lot of products to look at. I started talking with them, and we started talking about testing more products, looking at more products, getting my hands on them. And that's when I realized, wait a second, reason number three, hey, Tony, why aren't you on YouTube? And I kept saying, no. And then at Interzoo, I realized, whoa, here's my opportunity. Because I met a company called GNC. Now, GNC is an Italian light manufacturer that builds an incredible light fixture for the aquarium trade. And they started talking to me about it. And at the end of Interzoo, I sat down with Julian and I said, hey, Julian, what's your personal opinion about these lights? And he explained to me what his thoughts were. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'll try it. So they sent me an X and an XM. And I'll be honest with you, I was really impressed with the light. I did things to this light that I never thought I would do. And I put them on the video. And then I realized, wait a second, YouTube, these videos, whoa. I started feeling good about it. And I said, you know what? Let me reignite my YouTube channel. Now, bear in mind, I established a YouTube channel back in October of 2010. That was a long time ago. And guess what? I posted things there once in a blue moon, but now I got the fire. Now I've been ignited. I feel great about it. I want to share all my experiences with everyone on YouTube, especially since they've been asking me to do this for a long time. Yeah, it starts off bumpy, of course, because I've never done this before. But you know what? You give it a shot, you let it go, and like they say, just press record. And that's what I did. I pressed record, and maybe I make a fool of myself, maybe I don't. Maybe they like what they see, maybe they don't. Leave your comment, put it below. Tell me, Tony, you suck. Tony, you're great. I don't care. You know, Julian told me one thing a long time ago. He goes, in this industry, you have to be thick-skinned. And that's what I became. I became thick-skinned. I'm okay with it. But now, let's go back. So I decided to ignite my YouTube. And I did Vargas Reef, and I also have what's called Vargas Reef Chronicles. So Vargas Reef Chronicles is where I sit down with someone, we have coffee, and we talk about reefing in front of their reef tank. And I think that's amazing because, you know what, we're just gonna sit back and talk about reefing, that's it. Have a good time. We don't need to be there stressed, trying to tell people what to do and how to do it. Because you know what? There isn't one single recipe, not in reefing. There are many beautiful, successful reef tanks from all around the world, which is one of the chapters in my book. And guess what? A lot of them, they're all different and they're all successful. So there isn't one recipe. We can try them all, but it's good to sit down with a successful hobbyist and listen to what they have to say. And Reef Chronicles, Vargas Reef Chronicles, gives us that. However, there's Vargas Reef. And Vargas Reef is where we go around and we go check out tanks. We do product review. We talk about chemistry. We talk about electricity. We talk about the biology of an aquarium. All these wonderful things that are awesome in our hobby. So that's what I decided to do. So how did I get it started? I started off with GNC. And GNC was a great little interview talking to Henry. I went on to do a few videos of GNC lighting, started visiting people. First interview I did was Reefster, and then the second interview was a trip to England. Actually, no. The second interview was Barnett, and that was an amazing interview. We found out why our fish die. And a lot of hobbyists blame themselves. A lot of hobbyists think it's their fault. It's all the collection practices. And what Barnett and RVS Fish World have done to control the death and the mortality in all these beautiful fish that they collect for us. So that was a great interview. As a matter of fact, it was so long that we had to do a two-parter. And we did the two-part, and it was amazing. And then we went and we did Eamon at Thinkfish. And that was another great interview because Eamon had a lot of insight. Eamon talked about so many different things. But from there, we went to England. And this kid named Dan Thomas picked me up at the airport. And what happened? We went to his house right after the airport. No matter how tired I was, we went there and we saw his tank. And wow, this young gentleman has an incredible blue thumb. Holy cow, what a gorgeous tank. And I was super impressed with his tenacity, with his love and passion for the hobby. And then from there, we took the ultimate ride. We went to David Saxby's. Holy cow. Every time I go there, this tank is different. And all he does is just let the corals grow. And they had grown to an unbelievable size that I even said to him, David, you need to put a jackhammer into that tank because there's no other way you're gonna be able to frag anything in that tank. Needed a jackhammer to frag a coral? Absolutely. And then we went and we saw Martin. Martin has a chapter in my book, and it's probably the funniest chapter in the whole book. And it's all because of the process of him almost tearing down his house just to build a tank inside of it. And what he went through and what the media did to him and everything else, it was spectacular. So his interview was amazing. And then from there, we went and did Coral Freaks. Now, Coral Freaks is not like Macna, not like Reefapalooza. It's something totally different. Think about Jay Leno and The Tonight Show. They did something very similar to that, and it was amazing. They had guests that came in and sat on stage. They had Jeremy Gay interviewing everyone. Ha! Jeremy blew it out of the park. He did such an amazing job in interviewing people there, and it was monumental. The highlight of the whole thing, I was supposed to present something to David Saxby. Now, I knew ahead of time that it was going to be his 80th birthday. So I went prepared to give him a cake with candles and wish him a happy birthday and present that to him. Unbeknownst to me, the night before, they say to me, no, we changed it up. We decided to do something different. And what did they do? They awarded David Saxby Hobbyist of the Year award. And let me tell you something. If there's someone that deserves it, it's David. His passion, his tenacity is incredible. And what he's done for us in the hobby is also incredible. A well-deserved award. And then from there, we went and we visit AAC. And again, Paul comes into my life. And Paul was the one that arranged Coral Freaks, by the way. We did a little interview at his shop. And that was nice. We sat down in front of his tank and we looked at his tank, we drank some coffee, and we talked about reefing. And man, was it great to hear Paul talk about reefing and his experiences and all the things that he's gone through. Really amazing. And then came the next plane ride. Flew out of England into Germany. And who was at the airport waiting for me in Germany? Ali Akil, owner of Eurocorals and Modern Reef. And boy, was he full of knowledge. This guy is phenomenal. And what he's gone through in his life, I don't wish it on anyone, but what he's doing for the hobby, unbelievable and incredible. And his talent and his passion for it and the analytical brain that he has in order to make Modern Reef and Eurocorals a success. We spent several hours together talking and doing the video. His interview was so long that it was a 3-parter. I mean, wow, what he had to say. And then came the icing on the cake. Now, there's more to go, but the icing on the cake. And what was the icing on the cake? Going to see Mara's tank. Now, anyone that's on Instagram and is following reefs, if you're not following Mara's corals, you might as well just shut down your Instagram because she is the highlight of Instagram. When I got there, I didn't know what to expect, but as soon as I got there, she made me feel at home. She greeted me at the door with a big hug, like family. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And her husband, Christoph, another amazing guy. This guy, and he has a passion for the hobby as well. So it's not just like her by herself, even though she does everything. She does all the coral fragging. She does all the aquascaping. It's all her work of art. Her tank is by far one of the most amazing tanks that I've ever seen. Out of everyone that I've ever met, she's a coral artist. Akil helped me warm her up because she doesn't like doing interviews. She doesn't like being on video. But meanwhile, she did get on video for me. And I was really delighted about that because I really wanted the world to hear what she had to say. Then from there, we went to visit Thomas Truss. Holy cow, this guy is inspirational. And I mean inspirational. I went to his house and, well, before we went into his house, in front of his house, he has this tree. That's probably my favorite tree in the whole world because in autumn, when it starts changing colors, it is the brightest yellow you ever seen on any tree. It's a ginkgo biloba tree. Holy cow, is that tree amazing. And he had one in his front yard. We went inside. What he's done in his home is truly spectacular. You walk into the home, you walk towards the living room, and there on the right-hand side is his gorgeous tank. And what a beautiful display it is. Now that tank is special, and what he's done is amazing because everything in that tank was super healthy. However, it's connected to a system that's downstairs, and what he does is he has a retail outlet in his home. And he has an official retail outlet. Everything is legal, everything's above board. He has a shop. And people walk through his house to get to his shop. Now that I'm a little bit of, I don't know if I would like something like that. However, in his home, you go downstairs and there's his frags. and there's his corals, and there's his dry goods. Really an inspiration. 2024 gave me the bug for my YouTube channel. For 2025 is going to explode because I'm going to do a lot of super incredible things come this year. I'm going to have a little slow start. Why does it have a little slow start? For reason number 4. In 2025, it's all about new beginnings. So I started 2025 on day number 2, employed by Redfin in Dubai. Is a large aquarium manufacturer. And I'm not talking about large in volume, I'm talking about large in size. These guys build public aquariums, they build home aquariums. Put it this way, on day 2, they took me to go see one of their amazing aquariums. And this aquarium, as soon as I walked in, I could not believe. It was from the floor to the ceiling, 4 meters high. In order for the guys to go in maintenance and clean this tank, they have to scuba dive inside the tank. And they can only go through the 2nd floor. So there's an opening in the 2nd floor, a room just designed to go into the tank. Could you imagine that? As well as all the filtration that's in the basement. And that was an incredible sight. That aquarium was just mind-blowing. So what happened was during 2024, Redfin and I have been having a conversation about joining their team. And I decided to bite the bullet and go join them. Because one of the things that I realized, and reason number 1, was that I have a passion for projects. And now that I have this passion, I wanted to share it, and I wanted to start doing more projects. So what happened? Redfin and I came to an agreement where I would join their team, and now I bring in a little different perspective of our trade into their mix, right? So now we're going to focus on doing not just these big, beautiful tanks for aquariums and for residential and for businesses and for offices and for restaurants. We were going to do reef tanks for these guys as well and take it to the next level, even though they've been doing it already. I mean, these guys are in aquaculture, they're in mariculture, they're in commercial. I mean, it's just amazing what they're doing. Their portfolio is mind-blowing. And I decided, you know what? That's the team I want to be on. I want to be able to travel around the world and give quotes on building these big, beautiful projects because that's where my passion is now. I really enjoy being part of Redfin. And now Redfin is having a great time with me. So, like I said, the beginning of the year is going to be a slow start for Vargas Reef. But that's because I want to acclimate to this position. I want to know what I'm doing really well with them to take it to the next level. And then with the traveling, allows me to go and see other aquariums, see other countries. And Vargas Reef is going to grow. Reef Chronicles is going to grow. And so is product review. Remember one thing about being part of Redfin. I'm going to be able to share with you, my community, all these amazing builds from scratch to finish. And we're going to see them all grow. And that's all going to be part of doing the Vargas Reef, because we're going to see all these projects being developed. Unless we're told they want privacy, we will respect that. However, if they give me the green light, you as my community will get to witness and see all these amazing tank builds that are being done around the world by Redfin. And I am so happy to be part of their team because, again, this is my passion, this is something I'm enjoying, and I'm going to have a great time doing it. Stay tuned because you're going to get to see a lot of interesting projects going forward. Reason number 5. What's going to be spectacular in 2025? Check this out. For any of you out there who have always said, I want to visit Dubai and it's on my bucket list, and I've heard that over and over and over. Dubai on my bucket list is a dream come true. I wish I can go. I wish I can get there. Well, here's the big surprise. I am going to be putting a committee together shortly to review and to do a conference, Magna type, Coral Freaks type, all blended together in one. That will make a spectacular conference here in Dubai. So if you ever wish to come to Dubai, now you have a reason, because there's going to be a reef conference here that anyone and everyone can enjoy. And that will be coming. However, like I said, I'm going to be putting the committee together. And for you vendors, you guys who want to distribute your products or show your products, now you have a really good reason to come to Dubai, because we're going to host a conference here. And it's going to be different from Magna, it's going to be different from Reefapalooza, and it's going to be different from Coral Freaks, even though I'm going to take some of that Coral Freaks idea because I think it was great. And I think that Paul really hit the ball out of the park when he did Coral Freaks, and it was different and it was amazing. And I hope to do the same thing, a little bit different, and we'll do it here in Dubai. So people, the community, if you've always wanted to come to Dubai, you're going to have your reason shortly. And I will keep talking about it, and I will keep letting everyone know where we are and how we're doing with it. So we're targeting 2025 to be the year of the conference, the Reef Conference in Dubai. And like I said, we're going to put the committee together shortly, and we'll see where we go from it. But I will give everyone a highlight and let everyone know what's going on. At the intro, reason number 5 was the corner tank. I made it reason number 6. And why did I make it reason number 6? Because I wanted you to stay tuned and hear what we have in store for that monster that was behind me. Now, that monster is a corner tank. It actually measures 2.2 meters on the left panel, rear panel, and on the right panel is 2.2 meters. So they're equal distance and far from one another. The side panels are 0.5 meter each, and then it curves to the center, and at the very center to the very corner in the back, that tank measures 1.15 meters. That is an incredible aquarium. It is 400 gallons of beauty. Right now, it's in its raw form. It needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of cleaning. It needs to be buffed because it is acrylic, so it needs to be cleaned up. The rear panels right now are blue. We're going to remove those panels. We're going to put black panels. And what I like even more about it is that it has external overflow boxes. So nothing is going to impede the flow in the system other than rock and growing corals. That is it. Everything else is going to be free flowing in there, and I'm going to love it. I think I'm going to have a great time, and you as my community are going to be able to see everything that I'm doing to this tank, because I'm going to put it all out there. We're going to go from lights. We're going to do the filtration, which, by the way, I did mention that Redfin is doing a special project with these skids. Well, we're going to use one of those skids on this tank, and we're going to talk about that skid and all the value that it has in it, because I'm telling you, the skid is absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to be using the skid. We're going to have incredible lights. The lights, I'm still on the works with it, and we'll see which lights I'm going to put on it. And we'll see, when it gets all put together. However, like I said, you're going to be there through the building process. We're going to remove the stand that it has now because it's kind of rusting. We're going to use aluminum. We're going to put the tank up at least 1 meter off the floor. This will be an incredible build. We're going to have wave makers on both of the panels, on the side panels, and we're also going to have orcas with powerful power heads, and then we're also, as a return, we're going to have a sea swirl. That's right. It ain't reefing unless you're reefing with a sea swirl. And that is absolutely true. And we're going to put a sea swirl in there to oscillate the water. We're also going to have oscillation of water with the orcas. So we're going to have a lot of flow in this tank. It's going to be an amazing build. And I want my whole community to be there to watch this. So that way, when you come to Dubai to come visit Tony at Reefin, you're going to witness this beautiful aquarium. That's number one. And number two, we're going to come to a conference there. So let's get ready. And I am so happy that I was able to share with you why 2025 is going to be really an extraordinary year. I am going to have the best time of my life because I finally get to do a lot of the things that I've been itching to do for a very long time. And you as the community are going to be able to witness it and enjoy it with me. So on that note, please like, share, and subscribe. Share the crap out of this video. Post it everywhere so everyone can know why 2025 is going to be an amazing year. It's not just traveling. It's not just YouTube. It's also sharing with my community, which is something that I've always liked. That's why I've created 2 books, Volume 1 and Volume 2, The Coral Reef Aquarium. Why did I create it? Because I like sharing with everyone out there everything that I know. So thank you very much. And until next time, you have to love reefing.